Hey everybody! First of all, let me know if you can hear me. Second of all, welcome to a very special Dead Drop Studio stream tonight. We've got a lot of stuff going on today, um, and we've got stop it, Sarge. Thank you guys. We've got a lot of stuff going on today. First off, you may have heard we announced this morning that we are releasing DINOBREAK this autumn on PC and consoles. We're very excited about it. We're going to be talking a lot about that tonight. Second off, if you have been paying attention, you'll know that today Outbreak Endless Nightmares arrived on the Epic Game Store as Outbreak Endless Nightmares Restless Dreams. This game has a lot of new content over the original release, so we are going to be talking about that and showing it off a little bit as well. Um, oh, hell yeah, Ninja Guy was streaming it earlier. That's awesome. Yeah, we've got a bunch of new stuff, a new anomaly, expanded Nexus, a bunch of tweaks, some cool stuff there. And if you get it now, until the end of next Tuesday, aka for the first week that it's on sale, you get a 40% discount. So that's really cool. Um, you can find that on the Epic Game Store. We also appreciate any and all wish lists for upcoming games on Epic Game Store and Steam. We have the Dino Break store pages live now on Epic Game Store and Steam. We'll have more specific platform announcements when we can. Um, so please stay tuned for that. But we're really excited. The third thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today is we're actually slightly changing the Patreon. So first off is it's going down in price, which is cool. Um, at least for US people in the US who are subscribing. It's going from two tiers with different price points to a single tier where you get everything. And it's going for 5 USD a month right now. Again, that's the US specifically. It may vary depending on where you're subscribing from. But we're still going to be giving you the monthly Dead Drop Studios Dead Inside podcast, monthly developer diary, production materials, and all other kind of goodies, all wrapped up in a very cute and fun investigation story. If you haven't subscribed to the Patreon, we hope you will. That change is going to be going into effect on September 1st, so very soon. And after this stream, I'm going to be officially making that live. So definitely check that out. We have a lot of content up there already. There's at least like 10 or so posts from the past couple of months that we've been doing with production materials and 2 episodes of the podcast up already. I know Monday we're putting another one up. So the content is still rolling there. So we hope that you'll enjoy that, especially at the new lower price and a little bit simpler. Um, so there's that. But the main thing today is going to be Dino Break. Um, and you know that's awesome. So we're going to get to that, which means Evan is going to be showing up in a second here. So, give me just a second, and I'm gonna bring Evan over to talk some Dino Break. We're also gonna show the trailer again, but we'll talk a little bit first. Here we go. Oh wait, let's not do that. Uh, okay, sure. Let's try that one more time. Hello, Evan. Are we able to hear Evan? Is the first question that I have, because there is a chance that we may not be able to hear Evan. Um, let's fix that if that's the case. Um, they cannot hear you. Cool. Will no one love me? Oh wait, is it this button? Let's see. Is it this button? Oh wait, is it this button? No. Wait, oh that's Evan. Why isn't he audible? We love it. We love it. We love it when Evan's not audible. Don't have to listen to his shit. Um, I think it's because I cocked it up. Um, Not that one. We'll get this going in a second. Evan's webcam was being very pesky um, earlier, so that's there. There's a reason things are going. Things are go. Oh God, not that one. Give me just a minute here, guys. Sorry about that. Uh, why is his thingy not working? And what is this? I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna delete it though, because it might break something. That's Evan. So that should be making sound. Why is it not making sound? No, don't worry, they can't. No, we're almost. I'm figuring it out. I don't know. Yeah, don't say that. Don't talk too much. You might it might come back on suddenly. Um, oh, we know that. Um, God's name. Can you guys hear me at least? When we start with that. It'd be funny if they can't hear me, but I'm pretty sure they can hear me. We can hear CMM. Okay, that's good. Guys, it isn't a dead drop stream without scuff, you know? Yeah. Yeah. That's the whole stream. Um that's the that's the entire stream. Audio output capture. What is happening? Oh wait, I think I know why. Let's see if I can pick the right one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. Hey, can we hear Evan now? Oh wait. Can we hear Evan now? So lonely. No Evan. Okay. Almost got it. Why is that not human contact? What is what in Christ's name is going on? That's not it. That's not it. It should be capturing specifically from that one. Yeah, Bruce, you broke it. It's all your fault. Let me see something here, real quick. Application audio output capture. Application. Oh wait, I'm stupid. I think this whole thing was completely avoidable, as is most stuff. Add existing. Whoops. I'll click. Okay. Now. Hey guys. Can you hear Evan? Can we hear Evan? If not, we're gonna be just no Evan. Okay. In that case, we're going to be doing this real quick, and then we should be good for realsies this time. I know you should be sad. Um, Discord. John Discord. Okay. Um, I see my mic. I don't want camera captured. Why are you doing that? Audio output capture device. I don't want that. Nope, I don't want that. That should be the ticket. Let me just see real quick if it matches what I have in the other scene. Yuri Shiri. Yep. Capture specific window. Capture specific window. All right, guys, tell me, do you hear Evan this time? Can we hear Evan, friends? Still no Evan. How is that possible? Okay, thank you guys. Bear with me here. Application. We love it when this doesn't work the way it's supposed to. I didn't change anything either, which is the best part. That is the correct window. You are indeed a mod here, Evan. You are. You have the little sword. That means you're a mod. Oh, that's unfortunate. Why is it not showing up in the audio mix? Oh, wait. No, I didn't do that wrong either. Here, we're going to transition to something real quick, and I want you guys to tell me if you're able to hear Evan here. It might be because I didn't transition it. Hey, guys. See Endless
Hello.
Nightmares, Reckless Dream, or Restless Dreams, not Reckless Dreams.
Reckless Dreams. That's a new title.
Can you guys hear Evan? Because it
The
looks like you can
fuck
hear Evan. Okay, we're gonna
would a
switch back
reckless
to
dream be?
DINOBREAK, and it should be functional if I've done my thing correctly this time. All right, Evan. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Dino break. Dino
Hey,
break.
can we still hear Evan?
Dino break.
Do you see dinosaurs and hear Evan?
Dino
Also,
break.
thank you for the sub myth.
We hear
We hear him, but
him,
he sounds
but he
awful and
sounds
quiet.
and quiet. Wow, that's kind of fucking rude. I sound awful and quiet.
I mean, if the shoe fits,
Yeah, it is. It is true. I mean, I don't feel good, so it's possible I am awful and quiet.
it might be that. I
I'm
see.
sick with the diabetes and the diabetes medicine, which just, I guess, makes me sick 24/7. So maybe I do sound awful nowadays.
Maybe you do. Audio
Mm-hmm.
application capture. I don't know why
Dance
everything.
of Dinos. Yeah, I'm gonna write the next George R.R. Martin book, Dance of Dinos.
I don't know why it's
It,
being so
it
mean.
was louder on the game.
It was
That's
louder on the
weird.
game, huh? That's
Yeah.
interesting. Let me just check that real quick. I think I might know why that is.
Oh, tequila. Yeah, my tequila days are over. I used to be cool. I literally have like a full fucking bottle of it back there. I've got like 3 full bottles of tequila, a bottle of whiskey up there.
Talk again. Okay, now you're definitely not audible. Okay. I don't know why that was. Yeah, I don't know why that was. That's very strange, but we're just gonna roll with it as to why that is the way it is. I love it. Um, where is no, not you. Uh, anime. Wow. It didn't fix it. Is there a particular reason? Let me try this again. Hey, Evan.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Okay, you're audible there.
I'm totally audible. You can hear me right now. I
So,
sound good.
yeah, you're so good.
I sound young, energetic.
IRL ban did not function. Okay, so there's that one that is set, which is good, but I still need more. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do this instead. Let's try this one last time and pray that it works. Audio add existing. Sure. I said we can add existing. All right, we're gonna click the button again. Yes. Yeah, unfortunately they can't hear you. I don't know what the hell is happening. No, I'm trying to get it to function, and for some reason it just does not want, it just doesn't like you. Talk again? Okay. Dino break. We're John Dino break. John Matrix captures, you know, I don't know why this is so busted. It was just working. Oof. That is what I have. That is the preview. That is correct. Apparently they are. Yeah, I don't get why that is. I guess so. That's just how it is. We provide entertainment through issues. Hey, Evan.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
There you are. I got you.
You
Um,
got me? Am I there?
I got you there, and I just got to get you in the other spot.
God damn it.
Oh, oh, oh. Evan?
Test?
Okay.
Test?
Can you guys hear him
Test?
now?
Can you hear me?
I
John
know
Matrix?
I know his audio may be not the greatest. No, he's quiet. Why is he
Quiet.
why is he so
Why am I
quiet?
quiet?
Why are you quiet?
Do I need to be literally clicked over to Endless Nightmares for the audio to work? Is it coming through now?
Uh Let me see something
'Cause I was
again.
I was in chat.
Yeah. When I transition you here, you're low and distorted. Are you guys still hearing him? Still the same. I don't understand. I don't think you've done anything. Now they're saying now they're saying you're muted. I love this.
The white dots clearly don't correspond to hearing me. All right, back down to 2 white dots.
We're gonna boost you through this.
You
Hang
know,
on.
you know what I'll do? Let me go make sure on my sound settings that but I can't because fucking Endless Nightmares won't go away.
Don't worry about endless nightmares.
Oh fuck this.
He's
I'm
back.
canceling it.
He's back but low. I love it.
It's back low. Okay, I'm going into sound settings now. Recording microphone. So it's got the Elgato Wave here. I mean, should I maybe I disable NVIDIA? Is that better? I've just disabled NVIDIA Broadcast.
Hey guys, is it better now?
Is it better? I killed NVIDIA Broadcast.
We did it. We killed Nvidia.
Is that
It's
better?
the same.
God, fuck this shit.
I don't get it. I don't understand. I even boosted you like in
I'm gonna see if I can
properties.
boost myself.
Yeah, if you can boost yourself with Windows, that would be cool.
That's
Yeah.
better.
Oh, talk again?
Going full bore.
Any how do people feel is that identical?
Is it identical? Discord's also maxed out input volume wise.
Yeah. And it's weird because you sound loud to me on my end.
Is that I've disabled sensitivity? Is that better?
I don't think so. Hang on. Let me hear what they're hearing.
Is
Let me
that
hear
better?
what they're hearing.
Louder? Is that better? This is negative 80 dB now. Is that better? Negative 80 dB now. Is that better? Testing.
Well,
Testing. John Matrix.
well,
John Matrix.
you're definitely a little quiet. You're not the worst quiet, but you are still quiet, and I don't understand.
Is that better if I do that? Better?
No,
Louder?
you're identical,
Well, this is bullshit.
but I think we might just have to roll with it, unfortunately.
This fucking sucks. Can I just let me see? Is NVIDIA Broadcast running? Maybe I fucking just kill. Oh, but I bet you NVIDIA Broadcast is doing the shit to make my
Oh,
background invisible.
I know why it didn't increase because I'm stupid. We're gonna try this
And
one last
I
time.
have to keep my background blurry, or I'm gonna get like sued into oblivion.
That's fine. Keep talking, Evan.
Yeah, see, I'm doing it. I'm talking. Oh, background replacements. Look at those background replacements I can do. Pick an image, or I can have a video as a background replacement.
Wow, look at you. Is he any louder, guys? I boosted him on my end. It doesn't
All
sound like it's done
by
anything.
myself. I just want to be all by
The
myself.
smallest amount. Hell yeah, baby. I think he is louder. Okay, that's a great
He
sign.
thinks I'm louder. Now I got the DINOBREAK
I'm
background.
just gonna keep boosting you until I see a significant increase.
Okay, I'm turning off all the effects, although I think it's already off. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's off, and now I'm gonna go to default. Is that any better?
this should definitely be better. I see you increasing on my end, so okay.
I'm increasing.
You're
Everybody, I'm
increasing. Your
increasing.
power is increasing.
And
Okay.
now I got DINOBREAK behind me.
There we
See,
go. Is
that's
okay.
pretty cool. Do we
That's
do it?
good. That's good. Okay. Well, now you broke my layout, so reopen reopen well, later. I'll tell you when to reopen Endless
Yeah, I'm
Nightmares.
not gonna. If it's working, let's not open it now, and
Okay,
we'll open
that's
it
fine.
later. Yeah,
Okay. So
we did
somehow
it.
somehow
We lost.
we now we hear you, but your camera is gone because I think of how the layout is cropped, which is fine. We'll just deal with it when we go to
Oh wait,
endless.
because I
Yeah,
probably killed NVIDIA Broadcast, right? That was probably my camera.
no, it's how
Wait,
I have the scene cropped. It's fine. When we get to Endless Nightmares, you'll be fine on Endless Nightmares. Okay,
we,
finally, hello, welcome to Dead Drop Studios stream, baby. We're here to talk about Dino Break.
we did it. It's 31 minutes into the stream.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah,
did it.
we do it great here. Um, Actually, real quick, while I am on here, I'm just gonna take a quick look. Okay, cool. It does apply across things. Yeah, 32 minutes, but who's counting? So true. All right, we finally did it. Super successful rescue. So Dino Break. Evan, tell the good people out there, what is Dino Break?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
I,
So
you don't know.
why don't you play the trailer first, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Give the people the trailer,
All right. We're gonna give people the trailer while we figure
the
out.
red band trailer if we can,
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
crappy
I
censored
got the
one.
red band loaded up. In
With the
case you
blood.
in case you did not see it already, even if you did, let me actually. Yeah, it would help if I got the if I started the giveaway. I have it ready. Now you guys can enter the giveaway. Exclamation point enter for Outbreak Endless Nightmare on the platform of your choice, including Epic Game Store, which would be the Restless Dreams version. But anyway, here comes the Red Band trailer. Behold.
I'm beholding it.
You don't understand. We're trying to help people. They're not coming to rescue us. They're going to destroy the entire city. Oh no! Oh god, no! Please! Wait!
Hi.
Is that the same Dino that's on the infamous PS demo disc? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah,
Here.
it's the infamous demo disc. What the fuck is an infamous demo disc?
Since Evan is not visible right now on here, we're gonna make my face bigger. Haha, I did it.
Nice.
All right, so, Evan, what is Dino Break?
I like Dino Crisis, and Dino Crisis was a game that existed 27, 29, 35 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dino Break is, in many ways, since Outbreak was kind of our answer to Resident Evil and Silent Hill, Dino Break obviously is our answer to, the old experiences like Dino Crisis and Dino Crisis 2, and very much not Dino Crisis 3, because that shit never fucking happened. But yeah, it's we've been working on Dino Break for a while. I told people I would tell the whole story of how did Dino Break come to be, and there's a lot to discuss there. But the short answer was when we were finishing up development for Contagious Memories. The thing that was still big. That was kind of a little bit before we had that big Stadia boom, and the community grew like 20 times overnight in size. So it must have been January of 2022. We had finished up the ports for Contagious Memories. They were getting shipped off for like certain stuff like that. And the one thing that we'd always been joking about was doing dinosaurs. Because it always kind of was funny that we never actually touched the analog for Resident Evil, which is Dino Crisis, in all the years we were doing the Outbreak series. And with Contagious Memories being our first real, it was a real story game that had cutscenes. It had like the proper flow and all the bells and whistles and really great animations and stuff. Compared to prior entries, probably the closest thing we had before Contagious Memories would have been the Nightmare Chronicles, which, was very much a Resident Evil 1 game. So that was around the time where it kind of became a big discussion point internally. When are we going to actually start thinking about dinosaurs? And I started working on it, probably would have been probably a little bit before January of 2022, towards the end of Contagious Memories. And we actually got pretty far into development. Originally, it was supposed to target a release for October of 2022, which I guess would have been about a year ago now for the release. And what happened was I did a whole bunch of initial work on DINOBREAK back then. We were still like in Unity 2019 at the time. We still had not even really thought about Unreal Engine. We still really hadn't gotten through the release of Contagious Memories. The Stadia stuff hadn't happened yet. And it just kind of seemed like the natural next step as doing like a standalone expansion pack to Contagious Memories. And a lot of work went into it. And then I met Ninja Guy X and John. It's John Forscar's Gaming Man, and someone else. That must have been that was in March or April. We ran into them, and they were like, "Oh, well, there's this Stadia thing with the clouds," and I was tangentially aware of Stadia, but I feel like it was Ninja Guy or somebody was making like a really compelling argument that, hey, you guys should look at Stadia. So we did some like initial social media posts on Stadia, and they fucking blew up, I believe, is what happened. And overnight, we had started then kind of thinking about, okay, what are we going to shelve? If we're going to focus on Stadia, then, we've got in touch with the Stadia folks. That whole thing began to unfold, and DINOBREAK kind of got shelved there because we were then starting to look at, what were Stadia releases going to look like through August and through the next year. And at that point, that was too appealing of a prospect when we were working with Google to not follow up on that aggressively. And we found, ultimately we found the financial and the production means to target porting the series over to Stadia. We obviously found a very welcoming community there. And DINOBREAK just kind of fell to the wayside. And we got into the full swing on the Kickstarter planning around that time as well. And then everything kind of went into planning for August and September of 2022 with the Kickstarter and announcing Shades of Horror and going through the funding there. So DINOBREAK just kind of stopped being a thing, but we were always kind of like joking about it in chat, and everybody was always kind of saying it. And that's when it kind of transformed into, well, let's make it a stretch goal for Shades of Horror because we know we want to do it. But we know we won't have the initial resources with the the Stadia deal with the Kickstarter and everything to do it. So we put it as kind of a lofty stretch goal. And it's not that we didn't get close to it. We were, in the great scheme of things, the Kickstarter did great, and it's not that we weren't really in spitting distance of hitting it, but unfortunately, as the story goes, and that we're all aware of, on September 29th, 2022,
That fateful day.
That fateful day, our fortunes and the fortunes of many other developers changed within an hour, and it kind of became something where we none of this is private information. We've talked about this on stream before. We started to talk about this at the end of the Kickstarter, that the events of September 29th, 2022 caused a hard pullout of the Kickstarter. We were trending to end up much higher. I actually think had September 29th not happened, we probably actually would have hit the DINOBREAK stretch goal by the end of the Kickstarter. But we did see the surge at the end of the Kickstarter, but we also saw this massive pullback on the Stadia side. And what ended up happening is it kind of equalized itself out, and we ended up a couple grand up over where we were at the beginning of the 29th. But in reality, I think we actually probably would have smashed the DINOBREAK stretch goal for that. So then, as the story goes, of course, that we then, us and other developers were then grappling with the ramifications of that news. And we spent months kind of replanning out the pipeline and figuring out what we're going to do with Shades of Horror with that, and starting development of Shades of Horror. But, the entire time we were always talking about, well, what's DINOBREAK going to be now, since it's clearly not going to be anything in like the next couple of months in Shades of Horror, obviously, because Shades of Horror is still November of 2025. And over time, we eventually started revisiting what the work that was done on DINOBREAK. And what was funny was when I went back to it and we started talking about it more, it was much further along than I think thought it was. I think the Stadia stuff really just kind of gave us like swooped in and stole all of our mind juice at that point, and
Yeah.
we kind of forgot how far along DINOBREAK was. And over the last year, it's just kind of made sense to revive it and work on it some bit more behind the scenes. Certainly want to make it clear that DINOBREAK in no way has impacted Shades of Horror. Resources from Shades of Horror were not used on it. This was something that was in development well before we even began talking about Shades of Horror, well before we even before the release of Contagious Memories. And what we've been saying publicly for today, and we will continue to say over the next couple of weeks, is that in months, is that we've had a tremendous amount of stuff in the pipeline that's just kind of either been burning or slowly getting worked on between other projects that we've been working on, because we're always working on a whole bunch of projects at the same time. And what you're going to see over the summer, obviously, with the Epic Game Store releases, with DINOBREAK getting announced, with stuff that's coming later this summer and through the fall and through winter, is that it's just almost pure coincidence that a lot of stuff is going to get announced and released in the upcoming window here that's just kind of been on the burner in some cases for over 18 months. So that's kind of the story of why DINOBREAK is here today in this form, is that it kind of was always the plan originally for how this was, what DINOBREAK was going to be, and the stars just aligned that it's now time, and we're coming up obviously on Halloween and everything, and it's the perfect time for a fun horror game. The community is very motivated and excited about DINOBREAK over the years, and certainly from the announcement today, the feedback has been very, very positive, which we're happy to see, and it's the right time to do this. It's also the right time to do this because we're leaving behind this type of engine. Obviously, we're moving away from Unity.
Right.
We're moving away from this type of gameplay too, in some ways, right? Because Shades of Horror is a very modern game from what we've shown on the streams over the last year. It's not this kind of slow-paced thing that kind of Contagious Memories was. And I think that if we don't do DINOBREAK now, we're never going to really have a chance to do a retro take on dinosaur survival horror. And I think that's another reason why it's important to do it now, is because the train's kind of leaving the station in a lot of ways. The train's leaving the station in terms of Unity. Unity is obviously not getting healthier year over year, I think is a fair statement. And our legacy code base and the work that we had done on DINOBREAK, which was a lot of work, was in Unity, and the risk is if we sit on this for another 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, and decide then to go back and do a really retro dinosaur survival horror game, it simply might not be possible at that point based on whatever's happening, just in Unity's business and their support for the platform, which I'm just kind of talking at a general level here. I'm just reading the tea leaves. I don't know anything. But I would say that the risk of this ever becoming a product probably increases tenfold every month that we don't move forward with productionizing and releasing the game. I think that the gameplay that we're going to be targeting with Shades of Horror and other titles that we're going to be talking about is leaving this type of retro survival horror. We're not going to be releasing games that kind of look like a PlayStation 1 game, right? We're not going to be releasing games that play like a PlayStation 1 game going forward. And I think it would just be a tremendous missed opportunity to not take a moment and envision what a Dead Drop Studios dinosaur survival horror game would be in this old system, with a lot of new bells and whistles, a lot of new gameplay mechanics, and a lot of new stuff. But I think it would be a missed opportunity that maybe 3 years, 4 years down the road, we look back on after Shades of Horror is out, and maybe one day there's a DINOBREAK expansion pack or a new game in the Shades of Horror engine or something. And I do think the community might look back, and we would look back and say this was a missed opportunity not to get this out when we had the tools to do it. I'm reminded of a scenario where we did pass something over and we can't go back and fix it now as well, which, has kind of influenced some of my decisions for the series over the years. But we had a chance once upon a time to do Outbreak on PlayStation Vita, and we didn't do it. And I had a chance to do it. The game Outbreak 2D would have supported the Vita just fine. Unity had full Vita support at the time. We had obviously a burgeoning relationship and thoughts of going to physical products and stuff. And there was a missed opportunity never to pursue Outbreak Vita. And I kind of feel like that if we don't do DINOBREAK in this form, in this style, we're going to have another thing where I'm looking back and the community's looking back on 4 years and saying, well, this is kind of like Outbreak Vita. There was a brief window in time where it could have been a thing, and I think it could have been a very successful initial start to the series, and maybe even set the series up as a portable series potentially, you know. And we didn't act on that, and it's gone now. We can't go back and really make a Vita game. We can't really go back and release a digital Vita game or have a physical Vita release anymore. And this is something similar. So,
Yeah.
for folks who wanted to hear the whole story, that's kind of why it's here. The other reason why it's here, and arguably a more important reason, is that it's a very good game. You know, obviously we've showed a lot of Shades of Horror off over the last month or last year, and that's obviously going to be an awesome, amazing generational jump for us. But we learned a lot from Contagious Memories, and I think when folks play DINOBREAK, and you're going to be playing it pretty soon, I was kind of hoping today we'd be able to come to this with a release date announcement and a platform announcement. Unfortunately, we're still waiting on some stuff in the background to just get finalized to make those announcements. So, you know, for all I know, I'm going to be announcing platforms tomorrow or next week and a release date, which is not going to be very far off, trust me.
Yeah, that information will be coming as soon as we can possibly.
As soon as
it.
we can. Yeah, it's not because we wanted to do this announcement without it. I actually wanted to do the announcement with it, but we have other stuff in our pipeline that this is the day to announce DINOBREAK, and I think when you look back a couple months from now, you'll say, oh yeah, that was the day to announce DINOBREAK. So, you know, this game is also very much taking a lot of the fan feedback, which all of our games very much do, but looking at the initial foray into Shades of Horror, looking into what people liked about Contagious Memories and what maybe they didn't like in a general sense about Contagious Memories. And I think when you sit down and play DINOBREAK, folks are going to be kind of surprised about the kind of game that it is, because Shades of Horror, the Contagious Memories, we have so many games now, Contagious Memories was very much, the design for Contagious Memories was to truly create a PS1 Resident Evil 2-like survival horror game that's crushingly difficult, that's super resource driven, that is very much a survival horror game.
Right.
In the sense that a game that is not made anymore. It's not made anymore, and I think, you know, to the communities, to the larger gaming community's point, is the feedback that we received is kind of why it's not made anymore, because the barrier to entry was almost a little too high. It wasn't an action game. It was a game where everything about Contagious Memories is a puzzle. And it's not just that the puzzles and the notes you found were a puzzle, but the layout of the enemies, the resources, the amount of ammo, the guns, everything was literally a giant puzzle that interlocks together. And if you play Contagious Memories like an action game, you're going to get your fucking ass kicked and your face bashed in repeatedly. And there was no easy mode in Contagious Memories either. There was no way for somebody who maybe didn't have the learned experience of a classic survival horror game to really get in there and have it be a great experience for them. And that's feedback that we directly applied to DINOBREAK. DINOBREAK is probably as far of an antithesis to Contagious Memories as you can get, while still being in the same genre. Contagious Memories was a very resource-limited, brutal affair. DINOBREAK is an action game, and it is an unapologetic action game. It is an action game with fast-firing weapons, with lots and lots of enemies, way more enemies that you're fighting at a time than in Contagious Memories. And it's a game that comes right out of the box, and with an assisted mode in an easy difficulty mode right out of the box. So, you know, it's funny in a way that whereas Contagious Memories, I think, was a very hard thing for a lot of people to approach, and certainly for the gaming press to approach, I'm interested to see what people think about DINOBREAK, because the feedback that we've gotten from internal folks playing through it is that it's fun, it's enjoyable, it's approachable, and it's just, you know, a much, much better time. It flows better, and it kind of feels better, even though you can still play it as a fixed camera game. You can still play it over the shoulder or as a first-person shooter, switch your view anytime. But now there's automatic weapons. Now your weapons fire a lot faster. You do more damage. You're not as brittle. Even on the harder difficulties, you're not as brittle. You're not dying in one hit like in Nightmare difficulty in Contagious Memories. And DINOBREAK is just something that I think a lot of folks will be able to sit down, play, and have a lot of fun with. And that's both for the story mode. It features a brand new story. It features
yes.
It's not simply a retread of Contagious Memories. You're not going back through Contagious Memories and its dinosaurs.
It's very different. from
It's very
Contagious
different.
Memories.
It's a brand new story.
I think the best
I'm
way to maybe put it is that it's set in the world of Contagious Memories, but there are tons of new areas and changes. Like it's not you're not it's not it this is not just we took Contagious Memories and threw dinosaurs in it. It is a very different game.
Yeah, and it's different. It's different from a story perspective. But it's also different very much from a gameplay perspective. It couldn't be
Yeah,
more different from a gameplay
it's very
perspective. You're
different
not
gameplay wise.
you're not sitting there with 7 handgun bullets praying you get the one hit shot kill. You're sitting there with probably 100 assault rifle rounds like Carlos in Resident Evil 3, and you're fucking mowing down dinosaurs on the earlier difficulties.
Yeah.
So for like what I would say to people is when you pick up Contagious Memories, first of all, if you did not enjoy Contagious Memories, do not use it as a reason not to pick up DINOBREAK, because I think you will actually, if you did not like Contagious Memories, you will actually probably really like DINOBREAK. And I would say don't shy away from setting it to assisted mode if you're really not familiar with survival horror games, and just go in there and kick the shit out of some dinosaurs. It's a lot of fun for
Yeah.
that.
I've
Um,
played through the whole game on assisted. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's a very fun romp that takes a lot of interesting turns, and it's definitely feels a lot different from Contagious Memories. Just, even just like again, just playing it, you like Evan said, it's much more of an action game while still having those survival horror elements. And if you want more of a challenge, those higher difficulties are absolutely there, but we wanted to have a little bit of a lower barrier of entry into getting into it. Kind of like some of the tweaks we made for the Epic Game Store version of Outbreak Contagious Memories, where the lowest difficulty in that game now is a bit more accessible. Dino Break is built to be you know is built to be something that people can get into if they've kind of looked at the genre for a while now and felt like it was too difficult for them.
mhm. And to note too that the game is even set. When you boot up the game by default, it's set to easy difficulty as well. So it's not even
Yes.
something where you have to go down and set it. You'll have to set it to assisted if you want to go down to that, which that's a perfectly valid way to play the game. For folks who did enjoy the challenge and the resource constraints of Contagious Memories, there is 2 harder difficulty modes. It goes assisted, easy, and then the 4 are assisted and easy are the easy difficulty modes. Then there's hard and there's primal. If you enjoyed the resource-driven thing with aspects of Contagious Memories in the kind of the high difficulty, hard is probably where you might want to start the game. On hard, you're still very well armed, but dinosaurs are a bit more resilient to attacks, and you do a bit less damage in general. And on primal, it's much more closer to probably hard mode on Contagious Memories, where you're actually pretty depowered, and your focus is more on either not triggering dinosaurs and only taking down what you have to take down to. But primal is a mode where either you come at that after you've maybe beaten the game and unlocked some of the bonus weapons that are pretty powerful, or maybe you've unlocked unlimited ammo or something like that. But primal is also there if you want just a brutal out of the box experience. But even on primal, it's not as hard as Nightmare from Contagious Memories. You die in about 4 hits instead of 1. Healing items still actually have value. Your guns are not worthless, certainly, especially if you upgrade them or you beat the game and unlock some of the bonus weapons for that. And combat's really different in DINOBREAK compared to Contagious Memories, as an example. In Contagious Memories, just as a refresher for anybody who never played it, or people who did play it and just want to have some nightmares, the enemies in Contagious Memories, the enemies for the most part were meant to be you were meant to run from them. You weren't really meant to fight them. Zombies, there was really never a reason to kill a zombie in Contagious Memories because they were slow and you were fast.
Right.
And your weapons were meant to be saved for like reptiles and enforcers and brutes and shit, like the power monsters that you really couldn't get away from. But the difference in DINOBREAK instead is that you're really meant to fight the enemies, and you're meant to you can incapacitate them and run, or you can fight them off. The dinosaurs, all of the dinosaurs except for the most powerful dinosaur in the dinosaur kingdom, the T-Rex, can be staggered and knocked down if you do a lot of damage. You'll encounter small dinosaurs like little compies running around, and a lot of raptors in the game. Raptors are kind of the foot soldiers of the dinosaur
Yeah,
kingdom,
of the
I'd say.
DINOBREAK
Um,
hierarchy.
right. So like when you run into like a copy, they're tiny. You got to aim down and fix camera to hit them, but you'll fucking annihilate them even on the hardest difficulty. The Raptors, if you have an assault rifle, you'll mow them down even on the harder difficulties, and they fall down really easily. You shoot them once or twice, they'll fall over and get staggered before they get back up and keep coming at you. You know, certainly when you get to bigger dinosaurs like the Triceratops, when you get to the T-Rex, those are, if you're going to fight one of those, you're pretty much there to use a power weapon and try and take them down because they're not going to get staggered. They'll get staggered rarely, if at ever. But knocking them down is a good chance to run past them if you need to. Knocking them down also helps with the flow of combat because you're typically fighting a lot of dinosaurs at once. It's not. People were asking me, is the game closer to Dino Crisis 1 or 2? And what I'll say is the story, the puzzles, cutscenes, and things like that, it's more of a Dino Crisis 1 affair. But the combat is very much a Dino Crisis 2 affair, where you're kind of more of a John Matrix type person. I'm really stuck on Commander today for some reason, you know, you're there to really kind of blast your way through. But it's not just that. Like in Contagious Memories and in our other games, the zombies were always just kind of like there, right? They were there, and if you got close to them, you triggered them and they chased you, right? One of the new mechanics in DINOBREAK is that the dinosaurs a lot of times are in eggs. And eggs can get broken by touching them, by attacking them. But if you're a super smart guy or gal or person, and you want to be smart about it and play your cards right, you can walk past the eggs. You can run past them if you do it right. I do have some pretty devious egg mazes in there.
Yes, he
which
does.
Folks will expect, but. Where Contagious Memories had kind of like a golden path of how to avoid enemies, DINOBREAK has a golden path of avoiding eggs. But it's not as simple as just staying away from eggs and you're fine, because there still will be obviously dinosaurs that are already hatched kind of roaming around. But when you enter an area, the eggs are on a timer, and that's so that you can't camp. It's a generous timer. They're not going to hatch 10 seconds into an area, but after a couple of minutes, they'll start hatching. And when they start hatching, they're going to hatch more and more. And when they hatch, they're going to be fucking mad at you. So you always pretty much draw aggro. It's not 100% of the time, but it's often if an egg hatches, you'll draw aggro from what's in the egg. You know, if you can think of Contagious Memories where the rooms are not like, they're not gargantuan rooms, right? There's not really, you're not going to be walking 6 minutes in a room to get from one end to the other end. So if you learn the path, if you plan it out, you can avoid a lot of eggs and enemies. But if you stick around and you screw around, they will eventually hatch. They will come after you. But the egg timers do reset when you leave the areas. They don't keep them intact, which is kind of a little friendly thing that I've thrown to the community there. Instead of keeping the egg timers tracked across rooms, right. Dinosaur health does still track across rooms. If you damage a dinosaur, leave and come back, they will stay damaged. If the eggs hatch or they die, they will stay hatched or dead for the most part, except in some set piece moments in the game where that's not true. But those are very heavily messaged set pieces. When you hit a set piece, you know you're in a set piece because there's a cutscene basically with somebody saying to you, "Oh shit, you're now in a set piece," more or less through the story. So you know, that's kind of what we wanted to talk about it at depth here, is to make sure folks understand that this isn't just Contagious Memories with dinosaurs. It is a radically different game. It's a different story. It's different combat. The guns behave very, very differently. There's automatic weapons. There's more of a focus on fighting, and for you not being some weakling just getting the shit kicked out of you whenever you decide to pick a fight with something. There's also some major graphical improvements too. We talked about these on the Discord today a little bit, but it's worth pointing out that this is our best looking Unity game, obviously outside of the Shades of Horror playable teaser, which was meant to be a very limited in scope gameplay experience that allowed us to kind of go a little crazy with the graphics. But from like a full game perspective, it's our best looking Unity game. In prior Unity games, for performance reasons, we always had to have the fog around you. The fog was always coming in and blocking off your view after a certain point. We did that just like Silent Hill did it back in the 90s and the early 2000s to stop rendering geometry after a certain distance to keep performance doing good. Through our work on experience in Unity and through improvements that we learned from the Shades of Horror playable teaser and even through some stuff that we've learned through Unreal Engine 5, the fog's gone on most platforms. You can just see forever. The lighting is dramatically changed from the fog not being there. There's only one platform, which I'm pretty sure folks will be able to guess which one it is, where the fog has to be there for performance reasons. But on the other platforms, the fog's gone, and the game just looks incredibly better because you're not like feeling like you're trapped into this small foggy window. You can just see the duration of the room. You can see the distance on the streets and stuff like that, and it makes the game look a lot better. You can actually see it in the screenshots here when Lydia's outside. You can see the skybox is visible. The fog's not there, blocking your view. That goes a long way to making the game look a lot better and look a lot more modern. And it goes a long way, too, to helping the over-the-shoulder and first-person shooter views kind of feel less restricted, because now you can see really far in over-the-shoulder and first-person shooter views. And in many of the platforms, the fog does not even come back for co-op. We have split-screen co-op again. The fog is not there. There's only a very few specific platforms where it was just necessary for performance reason that the fog comes back in co-op. But if you're playing on a next-gen platform or a PC platform, the fog simply just isn't there anymore. And I think the game looks tremendously better for it. Alongside many other graphics that were improved across the game, the dinosaurs, they look much, much better than the zombies did in prior Outbreak games. Their animations are much more advanced and more convincing. It's really a much more visually interesting game and a much better looking game for Unity. So don't feel like you've already seen this game if you've played Contagious Memories. It's really brand new in every sense of the word, even though it takes place in kind of an alternate reality, I guess you'd say. It's not part of, obviously, the Outbreak canon. It's kind of an alternate universe, which is also why we changed the look of Lydia and everybody else in it, too, just because they're not, obviously, the people from the I guess what is now the Legacy Outbreak timeline, since
Right.
Shades of Horror starts a brand new timeline back in '99. So DINOBREAK is also kind of starting its own timeline as well, in a lot of ways. So that's kind of the spiel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
at
had
a high level.
I saw a couple questions just I can address that were in chat. In regards to the Epic Game Store and Steam versions, those versions are identical. There's no the feature parity is there. So definitely whichever platform you prefer to get those on, those are the two that we can specifically comment on, because obviously the store pages are up for those. And again, the remaining platforms we will announce when pretty much when we can. Someone else asked about the subway guy, if he's in there. Yes, he's here.
Yeah.
Our favorite
We could never
guy.
cut him.
Yeah,
You could never. He's probably, like, outside of Lydia, the fan favorite character of the series at this point. So there's no way to fucking cut him.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to mention too. I don't think we showed this in a screenshot or it's shown in the video. But in co-op, your buddy is Hank, obviously, because that makes a lot more sense for a dinosaur game instead of Ivy. So the second player in co-op is Hank. If anybody's curious.
Yeah. And yeah, Evan mentioned too. There is the take on Operation Rabid Wolf for this game is Operation Feral Raptor. So that's also present in here. And we do have. I won't say anything about it because I don't want to ruin it for people. But you know that Contagious Memories had Jeremy mode.
Yeah.
DINOBREAK has its own thing as well, which we're looking forward to you guys seeing.
And it's equally incredible.
It's amazing.
It's a fucking carnival. There's no other way to say it.
I played through the whole game on that mode. So
you did? You did the whole story
absolutely.
in that mode?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil anything in that mode because it's something you have to see for yourself, but we actually ended up working in some really fun, very old game references when you have that mode on, which you will see immediately, and folks who maybe were active gamers in let's say the 92 to 97 range, 1992 to 1997 range, you're going to see some references that I think will have you pointing at the screen and laughing hysterically, but also saying like, "Oh shit, that was a fun inclusion." So
yeah, for me, there's no other way to play. I need that enabled. It's too perfect.
It's fucking something else. It's not, again, we did say this in Discord, so I will say it here. It's not, Jeremy Campbell's not back for that mode, which is not in any way saying anything negative about Jeremy Campbell, because he's the Jeremy and he's amazing, and he obviously is an important part of the series, and I'm still hoping will be an important part of Shades of Horror. I keep talking to him offline about it, but we felt it was, since it's kind of like a different type of game. We felt it was whereas Jeremy Campbell brought the heat with Jeremy mode. This mode instead brings the insanity. I think is a kind of a good way to put it.
Yeah, we wanted to do something new for this one.
It's also, we also made some changes based on, again, talking about, there's so much to talk about in terms of Contagious Memories feedback that we worked into DINOBREAK. There's too much to talk about in terms of feedback, but basically any feedback we ever got from Contagious Memories got worked into DINOBREAK. I just want to be clear about that. I think like anything anybody said to me in some way influenced DINOBREAK, but that bonus mode, the companion to Jeremy mode in DINOBREAK, that's also a mode that doesn't greatly affect your ability to play the game in more of a normal way. Yeah. So it's something where, like, when you had Jeremy mode on, you're kind of, Outbreak Contagious Memories became a very different game with Jeremy mode on from a gameplay perspective. This one brings insanity, but it doesn't bring the restrictions that Jeremy mode kind of had. And I think it actually kind of maybe works a little bit better for DINOBREAK, since it's such a more of an action game.
Yeah.
That like Clay said, you can have it on for story mode, and it doesn't really disrupt the flow of the game. It just kind of makes it more amazing. I don't want to spoil that mode, though. I want people to experience that. And the voice actress will say that we got for that mode is she's a fucking lunatic. Yeah. I think is what I'd say.
Yeah, I think she'd agree with that.
She's a fucking lunatic.
That's pretty great.
It's pretty fucking great.
But yeah.
The other thing too is there was a narrator in Contagious Memories which popped in every now and then. Jeremy Campbell was the narrator in Contagious Memories. She also, just as a spoiler, she kind of fills in as the narrator for DINOBREAK as well, in the story mode as well. And she brought a very different feeling to the narration that I think worked really well for the kind of game DINOBREAK is. I don't know. I actually don't know what I would compare it to, but maybe like a little bit of a Borderlands vibe to it. I think would be kind of the closest that I would compare it to. And it's I'm very, very pleased with her narration in the game. So
yeah. So I think that's all we have to share with you in regards to DINOBREAK today. Obviously, when we can give you the release date and the specific platforms, we absolutely will. We have, as Evan said, a lot of different things in the pipeline. This is one of them that we've been sitting on for a bit, and we've been really excited to talk about. I've had a blast playing through it. It's it's a riot, so we hope you guys are looking forward to that. I'm going to show the trailer one last time, and then we're going to do a little bit of Outbreak Endless Nightmare.
We actually have a lot. Streams. It's funny. I told you I wanted to end the stream at 8:30, which clearly isn't fucking happening because we're gonna need more time. But there's actually we have to go back into story time for Endless Nightmares because there's a whole story there with this port. So roll that trailer, and then we'll talk about Endless Nightmares.
And Ninja, in regards to the voice acting, it's very much still in the spirit of how Contagious Memories is, where it's sort of like this mid-90s sort of B movie sort of, or C movie sort of like take, it's intentionally kind of stilted. Like that's just kind of the style. So I would say that is not really changed. So if you didn't like that, sorry, but that is how it is in Dino.
But to be clear, for anybody who didn't play the old survival horror games in the 90s, it's like that for a reason. It is something that's not going to continue into Shades of Horror, since Shades of Horror is meant to be a modern game. But we would be doing a disservice to retro survival horror if we did not do the voice acting that way, because Dino Crisis has some top tier B tone, just poorly toned voice acting.
Yeah.
And one of the new characters in DINOBREAK, I very much tried to channel Regina's voice actor, I'd say, in some ways, and how she kind of presented some lines. So even though Lydia is probably more of the stand-in as a protagonist there, but you run into somebody who, if you play Dino Crisis 1, you're probably going to be like, ah ha ha, I see what you're doing there with it. So
And also too, I know we've talked a lot about this being more of an action take, but that does not mean that there, aren't puzzles, that you're not finding notes,
Mhm.
that you're not still doing that stuff. And it's again, it's that's new stuff. It's not, you're not solving the same puzzles that you solved
Yeah.
in Contagious Memories. There's a bunch of new stuff going on there. Um,
Yeah, to be clear, there's no retread in, like, you're not watching the same cutscene for Contagious Memories. You're not solving the same puzzle. None of the puzzles are the same. None of the cutscenes are the same. The characters and story is completely different. Like, just to be as clear as possible,
yeah.
this is not it's not Contagious Memories with dinosaurs. It is a very, very, very different game in every
Yes.
every sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it'll feel slightly familiar because it takes place in that world, but it's a very, very different version of that world, and it's a very different experience. Um,
To the point too, that for folks who in the community who know me for a long time, that there is a absolute fuck you fake out at the beginning of the game too, that
yes.
I've shared. So I did anticipate that folks may kind of like raise an eyebrow and be like, this seems a little similar, and you're just, as with everything, Contagious Memories was a trap. I left a nice trap for people at the beginning of Dino Break who maybe feel that way.
Yeah.
So
All
brace
right.
yourself for that.
We're gonna show that trailer one more time, and then we're gonna transition over into Endless Nightmares. So Evan, you
Yeah.
can get that going. I'm gonna get that trailer rolling. Here we go.
You don't understand. We're trying to help people. They're not coming to rescue us. They're going to destroy the entire city.
Oh no! Oh god, no! Please! Wait!
Hey everybody. Sorry that you can't see me right now. Camera is causing some issues. If you are aware, or if you're not, we are doing a giveaway for Outbreak. Um, Outbreak Endless Nightmares right now on the platform of your choice. That includes the Epic Game Store version, Outbreak Endless Nightmares Restless Dreams. Um, so you can definitely get that. There is I'm trying to make sure I have Evan. We're here. I'm also doing troubleshooting while I'm talking to y'all. Um, the so that's happening. So please enter that if you haven't already. Um, we're gonna see if Evan's camera works, and if not, we're just gonna disable everything because technical difficulties are fun. Um, so again, the Patreon is changing a little bit this coming month, aka after the stream. Basically, the U.S. price for the Patreon tiers are changing. We're removing having two tiers. We're just going to have a single tier with all the content. In the US, it is 5 USD a month. That will vary depending on where you're from. But it's still going to include the Dead Inside podcast. It's still going to include the monthly developer diaries. It's going to include the production materials and a lot of the stuff that we've been doing. So we hope you look forward to that. And if you haven't subscribed to that already, we hope you do. If you are a patron, we have messaged you in regards to that because the way that Patreon works, we're not able to simply decrease the price on a tier. We basically have to create a new tier and like kick all of you. So that's slightly annoying, but we'll just have to do it this one time. Um, the Epic Game Store releases obviously are coming out today. We had Outbreak Endless Nightmares Restless Dreams launch. It is 40% off for its first week if you grab it. So definitely consider doing that. It has a lot of extra content, some of which we're going to be showing momentarily. The others are coming up soon as well, with the next one being on September 13th. Um, But for now, we're going to transition into Endless Nightmares, Restless Dreams. And real quick, Devious Beginnings is Outbreak 2D. It's just the new subtitle for that game. So um, let's swing back to Evan here. We're gonna see if his thing is working or not. It looks like it may not be working, which is so much fun. Let me just see something real quick. I'll try and get it real quick, but if I can't, we're just gonna go with it. For some reason, it is showing my camera instead of Evan's, which is a real fun time. Um, Oh, whoops. You were not audible during that. That's fine. I'll just repeat real quick. Just to yeah, before we get into Endless Nightmares, Restless Dreams, in regards to DINOBREAK, we will be announcing that release date and those platforms as soon as possible. It will be coming in autumn. It's not going to be coming late autumn. It will be early autumn. It will be soon, probably sooner than I think people expect it will be. So we are essentially just waiting on paperwork before we're able to announce that stuff. So we appreciate your patience on that. And as soon as we have that info and we've got the clear to share it, we will. So let's transition real quick to Evan so you can hear him again. The cameras are not working because of course they aren't. So hello, Evan. Oh no. Hang on. Let me make sure they can hear you. Can people hear Evan, or did it break again? If it broke again, I'm very confused as to why it would break. Because I don't... Oh, goody. I love that broke in 5 seconds flat. Let's see real quick what happened. Hopefully it'll be a quick fix. Okay, Evan.
Hi. I'm Evan.
Okay, that should be fine. Let me just up you.
Famous game developer.
Fam
Literary genius.
Yeah.
Humble.
Yeah. Hashtag humble. I'm just upping you real quick.
Humble. Hashtag no mic or no camera. Mic. Good God.
Yeah. We can hear him low now.
Camera.
Good. That's what I love hearing, except I don't. That should fix Evan. I don't know why that happened.
You gotta fix Evan good.
Yeah. God.
Fix Evan good.
All right. Is that good, guys? I'm just making sure. You should also be able to hear the game. It's not that loud right now because of the title screen, but you will be hearing it more soon. I see it catching. He is fixed good. All right. Awesome.
All right, we did it.
Sweet. All right, Evan, take it away. What can we expect?
Back to fucking story time, everybody.
It's story time.
Endless Nightmares originally came out in May of 2021, so this game is what, 2 years, 4 months old at this point, or something to that. Something in that. Endless Nightmares was a really important title for us. It was a big jump quality-wise. We had fixed the long-standing animation issues in the series. The graphics were greatly improved compared to anything prior in the series, and it's still a very unique survival horror game because it's a roguelike. It's a semi-procedurally generated roguelike. And I always thought it would be kind of interesting to do a survival horror game as a roguelike because it feels like the mechanics are perfect for it, and I was right, because it was at the time our best-selling game. Obviously, Contagious Memories then destroyed it, sales-wise. But at the time, Endless Nightmares was a huge sales success for us. Orders of magnitude higher than Epidemic, New Nightmare, anything like that. And it was a really important title because it was just a massive quality jump in every area of the game. And it formed a really good framework for what Contagious Memories was built from, as well, because a lot of the great stuff, that the improvements in Endless Nightmares directly went to Contagious Memories. And some stories that I think we did tell before, but some that we didn't tell before, so we're going to be kind of walking in between those lines here. But originally, Endless Nightmares was supposed to have a demo for Contagious Memories in it, and I still have the build of that sitting around. We'll have maybe one day in the winter, maybe when we're all through our announcements and all the craziness of the next couple of months is over, we'll load it up. But originally, Endless Nightmares was supposed to have a Contagious Memories demo appear in it to kind of set like the next step from this game into Contagious Memories, leading into the full launch to kind of help it become, it's like to kind of bridge the titles and help keep the community interested in driving through it. So there actually is a build of Endless Nightmares that has a very interesting work in progress version of Contagious Memories in it, with different cutscenes, different gameplay, a lot of different things in that. So we'll definitely have to revisit that. But that was one thing I wanted to talk about, is that this game basically formed the foundation for what became Contagious Memories. And that was always the plan for this game, in a way, was to just get us the foundation so we could then build Contagious Memories and build the series out from there. But because things happened in the way that they did, it didn't launch with the Contagious Memories demo in it. We eventually thought we were going to patch it in down the road, and we had the patch almost ready to go, but it just kind of never happened. And then back in 2022, when the Stadia stuff exploded, we had thought, okay, well, we know we wanted to go back and do a little bit more with Endless Nightmares for some areas that bugs we wanted to fix, features we wanted to add, a new environment we wanted to add, and stuff like that. So when the Stadia deal happened, we thought, okay, well, we'll go and make the Stadia version of Endless Nightmares exclusive with an exclusive expansion pack built into it. While we were doing the Kickstarter, I think I was talking about this pretty much. I was alluding to this, I think, during the Kickstarter, saying that I was going on stream like twice a day, selling the Kickstarter, moving pledges and stuff to get into it. And when I wasn't on stream, I was actually working on a game at that point too, which was obviously was after the PT for Shades of Horror and before the actual development of Shades of Horror. And what I was working on was the Stadia version of Endless Nightmares, along with the Stadia versions of other Outbreak games at the time. Those were all in active development while I was dancing like a lunatic on the Kickstarter streams. And we got the expansion pack for Endless Nightmares like 95% done as of, I believe I was working on it the morning of September 29th, on that wonderful, fateful day that we keep alluding to. And basically, in the span of an hour, it went in the trash can, to kind of not wax too philosophical about it. And this thing basically went from something that was almost finished to being in a trash can. And we had referenced this a little bit, I think, after the Stadia announcement that they were shutting down happened, that we had something big for Endless Nightmares coming down the path that wasn't going to happen. And as was common the year of Stadia when we were taking off, everyone was like, hey, we'll just release it on every other platform. And then I would go, yeah, but that takes money. And the whole point of this is that we actually have to earn back, money to stay in business. So I can't just be pushing free updates everywhere, because even if the expansion pack was done and even if the ports were done and stuff like that, it still wasn't trivial to just push them out to a new platform. You have to go through quality assurance, certification, you have to go create store pages, get art assets, get trailers together. All that stuff costs money. And unless there is, and unfortunately DLC, if people are not aware of this, for most indies like ourselves, DLC does not earn a lot of money. If I would have done a DLC expansion pack to Endless Nightmares, it would have been a financial train wreck for us, because we did experiment earlier in the series with it. So, long story short, we had basically an expansion pack for Endless Nightmares done, and we had nowhere to go with it that we could actually earn back the money that it would take to finish productionizing it and putting it out there. So, when the Epic Game Store stuff came along, this kind of felt like the natural time to bring back that Stadia expansion pack and ship it. And this is kind of why the Endless Nightmares on the Epic Game Store, first of all, why it has a different subtitle, because it is a different SKU, it is a different product. But also why this version is very special is that it's got more content and more fixes and more features than any other version of Endless Nightmares out there. So it is on sale as of today. It's 40% off for the first week, so go buy it. Please go buy it and support us. And then go wishlist every game in the series, including DINOBREAK, on the Epic Game Store. And then go buy a copy of Contagious Memories on Epic while you're there, too. And get a lot of this extra content that was originally, once upon a time, going to be a Stadia thing, and now is an Epic Game Store thing. And if something were to happen where another platform comes up and we're still in a position to be able to port the legacy games over, as we said with the Epic Game Store releases, these will become kind of the versions of those of the games going forward, including Endless Nightmares. So who knows? This may appear on another next generation console, but there's no plans to port this as a patch to existing consoles because simply it's out of scope in terms of our resources and financials to allow us to do that. It just wouldn't work financially. But it does work when you're releasing a new product, so that's why it's going to Epic and why it's a great hook for everybody to go pick up this title. And that's the story of how this game kind of came to be.
So, what are some of the new contents in this game? You've obviously made this essentially an expansion pack that has been unseen and unreleased until now.
Yes, the honest answer is I don't remember. I started to work on this game a year ago, and I know that there's enhancements to the Nexus. I believe I improved shops across the game in terms of pricing and the items that they offer. I lowered difficulty across the game in terms of how drops happen based on feedback from fans. Everything's feedback from fans. We added a brand new anomaly, and the reason why I'm telling people that this was originally supposed to come with a demo for Contagious Memories was because the anomaly that was going to come out before Contagious Memories came out was supposed to link into Contagious Memories. It's, when you're in the Nexus, we won't have time to go there today and see it because I haven't started the game, and you got to get a little bit ways into the game to get to the new area. But you eventually meet a ghost that says, because there's ghosts as NPCs in the Nexus, which is kind of the hub area, that talks kind of in a vague sense about what's coming down the road and that it's kind of a vision of your future. And you end up going into a very early prototype version of a place in Contagious Memories that is different from how it appeared in Contagious Memories, but is kind of a prototype of an area that you eventually experience there. And it was meant to link into Contagious Memories in terms of that gameplay. It was meant to also offer a separate playable demo that you could access from within the game. And it all made a lot of sense when that was the plan. But now it's going to kind of be a little offsetting because now Contagious Memories has been out for well over a year and a half. And we're moving on to DINOBREAK now, so it's not really a vision of the future. It's almost kind of a vision of the past. And
a vision of what should have been.
Or what should have been. So I do think it's kind of important to give you that context when you get to that anomaly. You're like, hey, wait a second. This is starting to look a little familiar. And it's like, yeah, because it was originally supposed to be this whole tie-in to market Contagious Memories, and that super duper didn't happen for a lot of reasons in 2021 and 2022 and a whole lot of stuff. But it still would have made sense because with Stadia, I don't remember the release order of the games how it was going to happen on Stadia, but I think the plan was that we were going to try to get this out probably on Stadia Pro before Contagious Memories, and the linking would have made more sense there, Yeah. So we kind of almost got a second shot of making that link happen and having a demo in and everything, and then it didn't happen. So again, I don't want people to load this up and be like, hey, wait a second. This is very similar to Contagious Memories. It's like, yeah, but you're experiencing it out of order for how we had planned for all this to happen originally. And I think that's why story time was kind of important here, to explain it so people aren't kind of going, when in reality, this was in development. Whereas I was talking about DINOBREAK being in development, I think 18 months ago, some of this stuff in this release was in development like 24 months ago, if not longer, I think. So, like, it's been a while.
So why don't we start the game?
No, that would be just completely out of line to actually play a game on the stream.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Give people an idea of how this game works. And yes, Hill of Silent, you did miss DINOBREAK, but we can talk a little bit about it still. I know you asked what did we learn from Contagious Memories that affected DINOBREAK, and the answer is a lot of feedback from that game influenced a lot in DINOBREAK, especially the point about having maybe a lower barrier of entry into the game where it's not as punishing on every single difficulty level. We have a new assisted mode in that game, and an easy mode on top of the harder difficulties that you would traditionally expect in an Outbreak game. So can give you an idea a little bit. And also, if you look at some of the stuff that's included in and tweaked in Contagious Memories on the Epic Game Store, that's also from feedback based on that game. So, yeah, we're gonna
Cool.
unemote only the chat. I don't know why.
I used that little time there to run through the credits to show that the credits were updated. Falco's Wardy's chief operating officer. Falco's listed as executive producer. CMM and Amanda are referenced in the credits because obviously they've been a big help with these ports and everything. And I have a hunch Falco's lurking. He's always lurking when I least expect it. So I thought throwing his name up on screen would get him to just post inappropriate things in chat. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, for folks who didn't know, don't know what Endless Nightmares is, again, it is a semi-procedurally generated roguelike. You get to choose between the 6 original survivors from Outbreak: The New Nightmare. Obviously, Lydia is the canon story character for the game, but you can play as Hank and other folks. Each of them have a different loadout. They have different abilities. They have different this and that. And you can switch your character after you've started a new game, but you only get their bonuses and stuff on a new game start. So if you want Hank's shotgun, start a new game with Hank. If you want Lydia's stuff, start a new game with Lydia. We'll start with Lydia. I actually have not played on the Epic Game Store released version today because I've been busy with DINOBREAK and a lot of other stuff going on, but it does pull in a save if you had a save from the Steam version, so it will use that save to bring it over, which is super cool. So you can see I could resume game from when I was testing Endless Nightmares at some point in the past. But your Endless Nightmares save is still here. So let's head in. And Endless Nightmares was the first game. Obviously, it has a difficulty mode. You can set your difficulty somewhere in this fucking game. Where's difficulty mode? Wait, am I missing it? Wait, no, this is the one that doesn't have a difficulty mode. This is the one where the difficulty mode is the game modes instead, where when you go to start a new game in Endless Nightmares, there's a lot of text on the screen, definitely read the screen, but you can play it as a standard roguelike, which is standard mode. That's kind of like the bog standard way that it was meant to be played, but I did have a lot of like extra fun stuff in here. Iron Man mode is the hardcore difficulty, where if you die, your save gets deleted. So if you really want to be fucking dangerous as hell, and in standard mode your save does not get deleted. You just go back to the Nexus when you die. In Iron Man mode, I delete your saved game when you die. So have fun with that. There's randomizer mode, which is an absolute fucking hilarious mode, where your inventory is randomized every time you load into a new room in each anomaly. So you never know what you're going to get in your inventory. You're going to get stuff that's commensurate with your progress in the game, so you get better items later in the game based on your anomaly. But you can get literally anything in your inventory. You're guaranteed to get, I think, at least 2 weapons. But it can really fuck you over. It can give you some really powerful stuff. And it's just a super unpredictable way to play. Our reference to a prior game in the series is Lost Hope mode, which combines Iron Man mode and randomizer mode, which is just fucking insane. Because if you die, your save gets deleted, but your inventory is random every time. And then for folks who want a more laid-back experience, there's easy mode, where you're basically super resistant to damage. Your item box comes loaded with a lot of great items and weapons. Enemies are easier and all that good stuff. So this game actually does have an easy mode. Kind of odd that this one had an easy mode and Contagious Memories dropped that, but
Oops.
The developer's probably incompetent, so I would blame that person.
Yeah, probably. He was probably drunk on the job.
Probably drunk on the job, yeah. So we'll start standard mode really quick. I love Dark Souls. Watch the game not load. I loaded. I love Dark Souls. This game was heavily inspired in a lot of ways by Dark Souls. You do have a Nexus where you spawn. Here is the Nexus, which is kind of a hub world and how you access different parts of the game. The Nexus grows as you play through the game, and you get more tokens to open up new rooms. You can see it's kind of like boarded off here in different areas. But as you play through more of the game, the Nexus gets more open up. You get more items. You get access to a shop in the Nexus. You get access to more of these ghosts that are floating around that give you little tips in a very Demon Souls or Dark Souls excuse me way. Kind of glad the camera's not on now. It's this world that you kind of exist in, where there is items, there's loot, there's notes and stuff strewn around. You can see there's a knife here handgun ammo's over here, but it grows with you as you progress in the game, and obviously very inspired by Demon Souls and the Nexus and Demon Souls. For all that. Big focus in this game, too, of taking things out of menus. A lot of the things that would have been like a menu in a previous Outbreak game are just things you interact with in the world here, like these NPCs, the shops, and stuff like that that you encounter. Tutorials and stuff aren't in a note. The tutorials are these ghouls that are kind of floating around. For folks who are curious, the way to access the bonus content here is this cop car that if you played another version of Endless Nightmares, you'll notice was not here. It's set to the second anomaly. I think you need 8 conductor's coins, which are the coins you use to give to your friend the conductor over here to open up more of the environment. We'll fly over in photo mode to take a look at him. He's sitting over here by this train. And as you go into the anomalies and fight off monsters and get further into the game, you get coins that you give to this fine fellow here. And when you get 50 coins, it unlocks the final area of the game, and it allows you to escape this kind of ethereal realm that you find yourself kind of trapped in here. So that's kind of the flow of this game. It's very different from any other game in the series that was or ever would be. And there's your way to the new anomaly back here. Nice little glitch there with coming out of camera mode. Obviously, it's Endless Nightmares, so there's going to be some glitches, but you'll notice that I'm kind of talking about the fog, right, from prior games. This fog, when we talk about the fog getting removed in DINOBREAK and Contagious Memories, it isn't here. If you can imagine just being able to see forever. In DINOBREAK, you can see forever, but this fog was here in this game for performance reasons because, we were still not hyper-experienced in Unity, and Unity is not the most performant thing in the universe, so we had to do what we had to do there to keep performance up on PC and console platforms. As you explore the Nexus, there's weapons and items, especially your first time that you're there. So definitely grab everything you can find. You can unload guns like you can in other games. In the series, you have access to the storage box here to store your items. You have the reloading tool to combine gunpowder together to make ammo, to break down weapons. Whereas most Outbreak games had a focus on you keeping your weapons for a long part of the game, this game, you're meant to be throwing away your weapons quite quickly. So when you want to break down your weapons to repair parts or weapon upgrade parts, you can combine them with the reloading tool. You can combine gunpowder that you find to make different types of ammo. This is a game that's very much meant for your inventory to keep cycling rapidly, I guess would be a good way to put it for that. There's a lot to explore. There's some decent starting weapons in the Nexus as well. There's a shotgun over here. Make sure you take the shotgun with you. It breaks pretty fast, but it's still good. But as you explore, you'll see these doors are all barred off, and as you interact and talk to the ghosts here, they'll be like, yeah, get some more conductor's coins, and maybe the doors will open. And that's what you got to go do. Kind of some interesting camera angles too in here. So when you progress into the actual game itself, just like any good roguelike, there's a portal to enter kind of the game world. And when you do, you're thrown into these, you get a little story text at the beginning every time you enter a new area for the most part. And then you're kind of thrown into these rooms full of enemies and traps and things like that. You can kind of see here, we'll take a look around in photo mode, where there's kind of a little maze here to figure out how to navigate. There's some zombies in the room with you. There's items and stuff to pick up. And if you've really ever played like a roguelike, like Enter the Gungeon or anything like that, Rogue Legacy, your goal is to fight through these areas, survive, find equipment, eliminate enemies. And as you go from room to room, the difficulty keeps ratcheting up. At the beginning, it's very trivial. As you see, I'm kind of a wrecking crew that wrecked those enemies. But as you go through each room, the difficulty increases, and every 7 rooms, you go through a gigantic difficulty increase, but also the items get better that you find around the areas too. So it's something where like it's meant to be a very nice slow start, especially in like the first area here. But as you progress more into this area and you progress more into different anomalies across the game, the difficulty ratchets up and gets just borderline insane by the end of the game, as you can kind of see here. This was also the first game that offered the different moves where you can go to fixed camera, first person shooter, or third person over the shoulder view. There is some limited locational damage. You do want to try to hit enemies in the head if you can. It does more damage. The leveling system from, like any good RPG, the leveling system from New Nightmare makes a return. Every character in the game gains experience points as you navigate through these levels, as you fight enemies. You then unlock levels, which improve your, for Lydia here, you can see she gets a bonus to her firearms damage, her handguns damage, melee damage, a small boost to damage resistance, a small boost to critical hit chance. But every level you also get debuffs and weaknesses added to you to kind of even out as you become more powerful, to make you weaker in some ways.
Yeah.
And Lydia's very, very weak against poison, as an example. And as she levels up, she gets more and more weak against poison to kind of even things out.
It's not like Super Metroid where, like, at the end of the game you're, like, completely decked out and nothing can stop you. There's still some elements that are working against you to make it, not a cakewalk.
Yeah. Also the rooms that you encounter, whereas the environment is consistent, the traps, enemies, everything else you encounter in a room, if there's an item box potentially, if there's not, is there, that all gets randomized. And one of the ways that this game really messes with the player is that items are somewhat generous. And they're very kind of plentiful because this is very much an action style roguelike game, but item boxes become very infrequent, storage boxes, and you also can't interact with them if there's still enemies or puzzles to do in the area. So what ends up happening is you end up having to make very hard decisions on what items to take in a room and what to leave behind, because you can't go back to prior rooms. And you start to get into this thing where you start gambling on, will my weapon break if I go in without taking another weapon with me? Will I screw myself over taking ammo instead of a healing item? Because maybe there will be a storage box where you can deposit your stuff in here. I was fortunate to kind of find one, and I can kind of reallocate my supplies. But as you get into more rooms later in anomalies, in the same anomaly, as you play more in the same anomaly, storage boxes become less and less frequently to increase the difficulty. And as you get further into the game, storage boxes become extremely rare when you're out in dangerous areas. And that's just kind of a way that the game slowly ratchets up the difficulty and doesn't let you just take every possible thing you want with you at all times. It finds different ways to kind of mess with you and mess with different storage boxes too.
So you just got a journal entry there.
Right. So if you hit the back button or the escape key, it's similar to the same place where your journal was in Contagious Memories and where it will be in DINOBREAK. There is a series of short stories in this game that I wrote that you basically can find a page to each story if you find a journal laying around in each room. Each room has a random chance of a page showing up. As you get a page, as you pick up a journal, you get the next page in a story. And they're basically non-canon stories that are supposed to give you a general idea of what may or may not be happening in the world of Outbreak, because this game is very much a story taking place in Lydia's head. It's not in the real world, obviously, because there's not ghosts in the real world, and these environments wouldn't make a lot of sense in the real world. And you kind of get some lore, some background lore from the Outbreak series, some of it canon, some of it red herrings, as you play through this game. So that's kind of the collectible of the game, if you want to think about it, is trying to find all the pages for all the different stories that kind of are told in the game. And something I'd like to do one day is, get a book together of all the short stories in this game and the notes in the other games. I think that'd be a really fun hardcover book one day, or a digital book.
Yeah, that could be really fun. Let us know what you guys think of that.
Yep. Other things, aggro is handled. If you get close to a zombie, obviously you grow aggro. You'll draw aggro. If you attack a zombie, you draw aggro. But there are cameras and stuff that if they see you, they'll beep, and any surviving enemies will then rush you in the room. Like this crawler then was alerted to my presence, and these guys are now all coming after me. So that's just kind of it. It's very different from other Outbreak games in the sense that there's traps that can damage you, like the laser beams, but there's also cameras that can draw aggro. A lot of the traps are references to things from older survival horror games. Obviously, the cameras are from Code Veronica. The traps and stuff are from things like Resident Evil Outbreak and stuff like that, where steam and things could hurt you, and things like that. So there's just all these little subtle references as the game keeps kind of ratcheting up in difficulty as you play. Items have levels too. Most items, weapons, healing items, and ammo all have levels, up to 5 levels. At the beginning of the game, everything's going to kind of be like a common type. Ammo is going to be the common type, which is the weakest. But as you proceed through the game, you'll start finding leveled up weapons. You'll start being able to make leveled up ammo and stuff like that. And that's just another example of how the progression of the game, you keep getting more and more powerful, and how this game actually has a pretty deep loot table, to be honest, because there's a lot of different weapons that can level up, and their fire rates, damage, and other abilities that weapons can do change as they kind of level up. So what I'll tell folks is that at the beginning of the game, it's meant to be kind of like an easy, probably one of the easier games in the series to kind of like slowly get you in, and then it increases the temperature of the water, and by the time you're getting to the second, third, the fourth anomalies in the end game, the difficulty gets absolutely fucking insane. And when you beat the game, it unlocks New Game Plus mode, which makes the game even harder. There we go. I touched the laser beam and took some damage. And I'm doing terrible here. Whatever. There's a ton to unlock in the game. Fuck you, lasers. I'm just going to take damage. Fuck that. Heal up here before I die. And I found a conductor's coin, which randomly appears more frequently earlier in the game, but you can still find them in anomalies later in the game. These are what you take back to the Nexus and give to the guy by the train to unlock new areas in the Nexus, but also new anomalies that you can go into and basically new areas to fight through. One of the big tricks, though, with the game is when you die, you lose your inventory. So one of the other things that kind of keeps you on your toes, if you die, you lose all of your conductor's coins you picked up that have not been deposited into a storage box, and you lose some of your other items on death, and you can't get them back. You just have to go back into Anomaly and keep farming them. So the risk versus reward with this is that you'll often find conductor's coins in rooms where there's not a storage box to deposit them in, but you always, whenever you see a storage box, you want to deposit your coins so that you don't risk losing them when you die. The only way to take the coins back to the Nexus is to put them in a box, or to get far enough in a anomaly that you find a portal back to the Nexus in very Diablo 1 and 2 form, a town portal essentially. I'm gonna die here, but so is he.
He'll die
so
first.
This is.
It looks like
this
a healing
game
item.
is very much a roguelike. It's very much an unapologetic roguelike. It's semi-procedurally generated, and it is just a very different title than anything else in the series. And if you like those types of games, if you like our other games, I think you'll find a lot to like in this game. And that's the story. End stream.
All right. We will cut back to just chatting for a minute so we can roll the giveaway. Evan, do you wanna kill Lydia real quick? Or actually,
yeah.
How about if you have time, if we have a minute, if we can just finish this first anomaly set of rooms just to show
if
people.
I fucking live.
If you live. While that goes on, I'll just tell Hill.
We're fucked. Oh, no, I'm out of ammo. So look, to this point, tons of gunpowder. I didn't turn any of it into ammo. My shotgun's empty and broken. Handgun's empty. I'm fucked. But before I die, I found a shop. Here you go. Every now and then in an anomaly, you'll find a bunch of ghosts hanging out, and they will offer you. You basically gain a form of currency called essence as you get through anomalies. As you kill enemies, you basically accumulate essence, which is essentially money for the game. In game. And when you're running through these environments, you might come across a randomly generated shop, and the shops sell the better weapons, ammo, and healing items in the game and you can trade your essence for them as well. But I'm going to die here.
Are you able to interact with the shop while enemies are still on screen?
I don't know. Let's find
out.
No.
No.
No. Wait. I guess I can, but I don't have any inventory space to buy anything.
Yeah.
I also probably don't have any essence. Yeah, your essence is in the upper right-hand corner of this screen. Also worth pointing out on this screen, it shows your inventory. This is the back button or escape key on the keyboard. Shows your inventory, your character's level, and your abilities, your experience points. Shows your journal, but in the upper left and right hands of the screen, you can see your objective, the current anomaly, your current difficulty, and your essence, the amount of conductor's coins you've redeemed, and the mode you're on. And I finally remembered where difficulty is set. In the Nexus, when you unlock an area later on in the Nexus, it's the gymnasium in there. There are statues that can increase or decrease the game's difficulty. And as you increase the difficulty, you get more rewards, more essence, better items, stuff like that. So that was something where I was trying to move things out of menus, so they're actually statues you interact with in the Nexus.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
If I noticed there's a save and quit option there. If you save and quit while you're in a Nexus, I'm assuming you lose the progress in the Nexus.
Yes. So save and
quit takes
anomaly.
You
back. Anomaly. Yeah. So save and quit takes you back to the character select screen and where you can change your character. But if you go back while you're in an anomaly, you lose everything. So if I go back here, I'm going to lose everything in the inventory. I'm going to lose the conductor's coin. You can also return to the Nexus at any time. But again, just like in Demon Souls, you lose everything if you return. The only way to get out of an anomaly and keep your shit is to either store it in a storage box and die or return to the Nexus, or you will eventually find a portal every seven or so rooms, a portal that will take you back to the Nexus and let you keep your inventory intact. So that's how you get back without losing all your shit.
Do you also lose your journal stuff that you pick up, or is that permanent?
No, that always sticks. Yeah,
okay.
those always stick. You also keep your experience points, because the idea is that you're still gaining levels, you're still getting more and more powerful. So even if you wipe and lose most of your inventory, well, you'll just go back and you'll find plenty more shit.
Right.
But you'll also keep your level ups, your experience points, and your essence and stuff, which you can use then to buy more shit. Right. So let's actually die quick here.
No, that was fast.
Yeah, well, I was in danger.
I know you're in. Yeah, but like.
And I'm back in the Nexus. I lost my conductor's coins, but I kept other parts of my inventory. While a lot of the items don't return in the Nexus, one of the changes in this patch or in this expansion pack version is that this pistol always comes back laying here. So there will always be a handgun sitting here every time you come in. You can farm them if you want and break them down. But that's one of the ways that I chose to lower the difficulty. But the trick is it's a level 1 handgun, so it's not going to be that great later on in the game. But at least you're always guaranteed to have an item there. And if you ever are, this is kind of a pro tip that is not pointed out really anywhere, but I think there is a ghost that talks about it. Yeah, this fucker right here. By the train, if you ever fully wipe in the sense that you have no weapons, no ammo, and no nothing, come over to this ghost by the train, and there will be a table here loaded with items to get you back on your feet. So that's kind of a little pro tip. You also eventually, as you redeem conductor's coins, I'm trying to find it up here. Where's the fucking roof? Eventually you'll unlock access to the roof. There was always a shop on the roof, and the roof always has kind of the important things you'd need. Like you can actually be able to buy conductor's coins up on the roof, but they're extremely expensive. And there's better gunpowders that you can buy. There's weapons you can buy up here if you need like another knife or something. So there's those kind of little ways that even if you have a full like inventory wipe and you come out of this thing with nothing, you can still spend the cash that you earned at a shop, which you unlock pretty quickly into the game on the roof of the Nexus. So cool. There's a lot in this game. It does not deserve the rating it has on Steam right now. So please, if you own this on Steam and you bought it, please go leave a fucking positive review on Steam, because I don't understand why this game got review bombed so fucking hard. It's a really unique survival horror title. So please, if you've ever played this on Steam, if you ever bought this on Steam, go leave a fucking positive review. Then go buy it on the Epic Games Store and leave a positive review there when you can. And certainly, if you're playing any of other games on Steam or Xbox, please go leave a positive or 5-star review. We really need fans to. We are a magnet for review bombing. We are a magnet for people who play the game for 1 minute, has no idea what survival horror is, and then just leaves negative reviews for us. So please, everybody in chat, if you own any of our games on any fucking platform and you don't outright hate us, please go right now, put a positive review in. If you're on Xbox, go put in a 5-star review. It really fucking helps us out because we get a lot of people who play the games for 1 minute, refund it, then post a negative review. And I usually try not to attack those people, but you know what? I'm going to say because I'm on stream right now and I'm really fucking tired. Fuck you for doing that. So if the fans who support us and like our games could go actually leave some positive reviews, 5 stars, that would really fucking help us out, and I'd love you forever. I'd also love you if you wish list and buy all the Epic Game Store games, and then buy DINOBREAK when it comes out.
Yeah, we really appreciate your guys' support. And yeah,
Yeah.
if you have played our games and you have enjoyed them, please let people know about it. It really does help us out. Um, we do again. We're gonna be wrapping up in just a minute here. This is your last chance to enter the giveaway for this game. If you would like to enter, just type exclamation point enter. If you're not sure that you entered, you can type it again. Um, we This game is also on sale for the first week for 40% off on the Epic Game Store. And of course, the Epic Game Store has the new content that we talked about today. Maybe in the future we might be able to have a stream where maybe we show that off. We'll see. Um, but that's the entrance to your new anomaly that's based in the world of contagious memories.
Yeah.
Um, that cop car right there. And yeah, so let me bring us back to just chatting. We'll say goodbye to Evan for now. Everybody
I'm going
say
to hop
goodbye.
off, CMM.
Okay. Gonna
Yeah.
say goodbye to
Thanks
Evan.
again, everybody, and I love you all, and thanks for the great stream, and thank you, CMM, for everything that you do.
Thank
You are the
you.
best, and we love you forever.
I love you forever.
Oh, that's love.
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Thank you for bearing with us with the technical difficulties, because those are always a blast. Um, Thank you guys for your support for Dino Break and for these Epic Game Store releases of our legacy titles. I know some of you may have missed the Dino Break segment. We will have this VOD on YouTube soon after the stream. I will put a timestamp in there as well so that you can skip the technical difficulties as well. Um, but we are really excited about Dino Break. We're very excited about Endless Nightmares, Restless Dreams, and the other upcoming Epic Game Store releases. Again, shortly after the stream, the Patreon is going to receive a price reduction. If you are a patron, you will have to resubscribe at that lower price point, just due to how Patreon works, so we apologize for that. But you will continue once you resubscribe to get your Dead Inside podcast episode, which we're releasing another on Patreon on Monday. We will have the monthly developer diaries, the production materials, all that fun stuff. And with that, we're going to draw um, the um, the giveaway winner. Again, this is on the platform of your choice. But again, keep in mind that the Epic Game Store version is the one with the additional content right now. We don't currently have plans to release that content anywhere else, so just keep that in mind when you are, you know, deciding which platform you'd like it on. Obviously, you're welcome to choose any other platform as well, but the Epic Game Store version that we showed today has extra content on it, so that's probably your the preferred one. So we're gonna close up this giveaway here. We're gonna roll it. Let's see who wins. NASA Dev, if you are here, you are the winner of Outbreak, Endless Nightmares, Restless Dreams, or just standard Endless Nightmares as well. So we'll give them a few minutes to claim their prize. I'm gonna check real quick while I wait on that to see who we are going to raid today, because we've got there are a lot of potential options here. Let's see who gets a raid. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hi, Myth. It's good to see you. NASA dev, you won. Please say something. Say something or forever hold your peace. Because it would kind of suck to re-roll. I don't want to re-roll. He was here earlier, I know. I'll give it another few moments, and then we will re-roll if he doesn't answer. NASA dev. All right, it's time to re-roll. Let's re-roll. Let's see. Grab it. Grab it. If you are here, you are the new winner of Outbreak Endless Nightmares on the platform of your choice. Hey, there you are. Perfect. All right. You are the winner there, so I'm gonna have you just DM us on this account, and we will get we'll get you your prize. It'll be a copy of Endless Nightmares on the platform of your choice. With that being said, we are going to start a raid now. So stick around for that. This is my friend Tootler. He is playing some Muse Dash. He's a nice boy. We will be back next. Well, we should be back next week. We'll give you updates as it gets closer. I'm headed out to PAX tomorrow morning, so we're gonna see how all that goes. But we will likely be back very soon. Stick around for the raid. We are going to, you know, I'll hit you up about PAX. But for now, that's going to be it today, guys. Thank you again, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.